In this video I'm going to review a book, 800 Words and Images by Glossa House. I'm going to provide the general information about this book, the summary of its contents, my critical evaluation, and finally the verdict, whether it is a good book for you to buy. So let's dive in. So first of all, the 800 Words and Images is a so-called picture dictionary, where you have a word and then an image which illustrates the meaning of that particular word. This book was published in 2013, so 10 years ago. The author is Dr. Michael Halcomb, who was still working on his dissertation when he published this book. He is one of the co-founders of the Glossa House and has a number of publications on their website. So this book is endorsed by a number of scholars. I know only one of them, who is Bill Mounts. And I think when he endorsed it, it was still in development because he endorses the project of this book. So this book is sold for $26 on the Glossa House website, and it also has the audio companion files, which you can purchase separately for $10. And you will have all the pronunciation for every word in this book. The quality of this book is superb. Thumbs up to Glossa House for putting it together. It has high quality paper, white, pleasant to touch, vivid colors. All in all, 5 stars for the quality of this product. So now let's open this book and see what's inside. From the table of contents, we learned that the words are organized by semantic domains or simply thematic groups, such as animals, people, family, outdoors, numbers, and things. And within those groups, the words are organized by frequency, from the most frequent to less frequent, all the way to the one occurrence. If the word has some synonyms or other related words with similar meanings, they are grouped together. So you're going to have one image and several words lining up. The most frequent word will be written on top, and the synonyms will be written below. So for example, here we have an illustration of lithos, which means a stone, and then we have petra, which means a rock, and finally psephos, which means a pebble, so probably referring to that little pebble. So they're all grouped together. So now the method of this book. This book does not provide the English equivalent for the Greek words. Instead, the author wants you to start thinking in Greek right away by associating that particular Greek word with an image from your daily life. And so you create this conceptual link between the word and the image. This method is well researched and supported by many linguists and those who deal with memorization and learning languages. So thumbs up to the author for that methodology. And if you are in doubt and you're not sure what that particular image means, you can always go to the back of the book, where you can find the alphabetical glossary for every word in this book with the English equivalent. So you can always double check what that word really means. However, the authors discourage this practice of going back to the end of the book to check the English meaning. They want you to create that association without that help. So this book has a brief introduction and then pages and pages of words and images with the alphabetical glossary at the back. This book promises to be a great resource for anyone who wants to build their Greek vocabulary to work with the New Testament Greek. Now let's look into details and evaluate this resource. So if you want a one-sentence evaluation of this book, here it is. It has a great idea, but unfortunately a poor execution. Let's look at the reasons behind this. First, let's look at the number of the words in this book. So this book offers 800 words, and anyone who learns biblical Greek knows that on the beginning Greek we learn 300 words, and then on the intermediate we learn another 300, and on the advanced level we learn 400 words. So here you have it, 1000 words, which usually gives students an ability to read and understand about 85 to 90% of the Greek New Testament. And so when you look at this book, which delivers 800 words, you think this book is going to put you somewhere on the advanced level in terms of vocabulary. However, the picture is not really so, for a few reasons. Number one, this book only provides nouns, so you're not going to see the other parts of speech like verbs, adjectives, pronouns, prepositions, and other parts of speech. Within those nouns, we also have some challenges. The New Testament has 2,400 different nouns. So this book offers only 800 of them, or 1/3 of all the nouns in the Greek New Testament. We don't really know on what criteria those 800 were chosen. We see some high frequencies and we see some low frequencies, all the way to hapax legomena, the words which appear only once. And so majority of the words in this book are from the low frequencies, somewhere between 5 and 1, so really rare words which appear only once or maybe twice in the entire New Testament. And so how good it is to learn those rare words if most likely you will never see them as you read the Greek New Testament. For example, if we go to the section called people, we're not going to see the word ethnos, which means nation. We're not going to see some occupations like tax collector, soldier, centurion, and even shepherd. This is the New Testament vocabulary, and the word shepherd is not included in that category. And so this is the major shortcoming of this book, that the selection of words is just inconsistent, and even if you learn all 800 words, it's not gonna put you to the level where you will be able to read the Greek New Testament. This book has a number of typos. So if we open the very first page with the words called animals, we will see that almost every word there has the frequency of 39, but it is not so. And the inconsistency with the inaccurate frequencies goes throughout the whole book, and this is another major drawback of this book. So now let's talk about images in this book. The images or pictures, they are very general. Most of them are clip arts taken from the internet. They're not really catchy or memorable. They don't really stick to your mind. And some of them are so general that it is even difficult for you to guess what it represents. For example, the word for the mother-in-law, Panthera, has an image of a woman with some flowers. And that image could mean anything. It could be your wife, it could be your mother or grandmother, or it could be your neighbor or a widow or an auntie. It could be anything. So the same situation is for the word cousin, which simply has a boy, and that boy could be anything. It could be a boy, it could be a brother, it could be a child, it could be your nephew, it could be anything. So some of these images are so general that you are almost forced to go back to the book and see the meaning, English meaning of that word. Some of the images are somewhat misleading. For example, this image poimne, which means a flock, and we see a flock of birds here. However, in the New Testament, this image never means the flock of birds, but rather the flock of sheep. The picture of some sheep would be better here than this image. So another word is here is the word herpeton, which stands for a reptile. Here we see an image of turtle, and yes, turtle is a reptile. The first association which I can create that this means a turtle, so not reptile. So it would be better if they would draw a snake and a crocodile together with the turtle, so it could be easier for me to associate that this is word not just a turtle but a reptile. Otherwise, a student can create a wrong association. And another example is right here. Cunarion means a puppy, a small dog, and then the secondary word is trema. Trema means a domesticated animal, but in the New Testament it appears only once, and it refers to a cattle, to the livestock which came to drink from the well of Jacob. It doesn't refer to a puppy. Here the image doesn't really justify the meaning of the word. It's misleading. Now, the section on numbers includes ordinal, cardinal numbers, and also measurements of length, of weight, and all sorts of other measurements. So which is fantastic, but it looks a little bit disorganized. It would be better if they were organized by groups, like ordinal numbers, cardinal numbers, and then measurements separately, because when you put everything together, it would be difficult to see what exactly you're learning and what numbers appear in the New Testament and which numbers do not appear. So now the very last group in this book is called chremata. Chremata means possessions, it means material objects, things. In English we would call it stuff. And the words in this group is just from all over. I don't really know how the author put this group together. For example, the very first word here is phos, which means light, and we know that light is not the material thing. So I don't think this word should belong to this group. And then we see the word therion, which means wild beasts, wild animals. And so why is this word here when the very first group in this book is called animals? So it should go into that group. And then we have the word mnemeion, which means a tomb. And we have the same word or similar word in the outdoors right here. So this is the section for the outdoors, mnema, mnemeion, and even the synonymous words are similar, so taphos and taphe. So why is this word here and not in the outdoors? So I don't know. So and then we have the word polemos, which means war, and again war is not a material thing. Again, gammas could go to the family section. So here we see metron, measurements, could go to the numbers and measurements. Aule could go to the outdoors, court. And then we see horns for the animals, could go to the animals. And finally right here we have litra, again 1 pound. The measurement should go into the numbers. I don't really know how the author put this group together. It seems that he just tossed everything into this one big melting pot and called it stuff, you know, this chremata. And it seems like it needs more organization and cleaning and moving parts from this section to some other sections. And now the final verdict. Is this a good book to buy? As an educator, would I recommend this book to my students to build their vocabulary? To answer these questions, we need to go back to my initial evaluation of this book, that it has a great idea, however, it needs a better execution. Some of the issues must be addressed. First of all, the better selection of words, improved images, they need to clean all the typos, and overall the material could be organized a little bit better. And maybe after 10 years it is time for this book to see a major revision which will address some of these issues. In current condition, is this book helpful? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you use this book, you will learn some Greek words to a certain degree. However, I would personally wait a better and more improved edition of this book. So if you enjoyed this video and it helped you to learn, please smash that like button, leave a comment below and subscribe to receive more videos like this. And remember, when you like this video, YouTube algorithm also likes this video and promotes it to more people so they could also learn biblical Greek. And remember, we're not just learning Greek, we are getting closer to God. So I wish you all the best, learn Greek, love God. I'll see you in the next video.